Hello, good morning, good evening, good night, everybody. My name is Dennis Aunga. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have like 4 to 5 days to finish. I think it's three to 4 days to finish this 2025, and we go to 2026. Yeah, most of us have been working very hard to improve our lives, to improve how we live, to improve how we do stuff. We've been having a lot of challenges. Challenges are normal in life. I know everybody has challenge. I've had a lot of challenges in this 2025. So there's a question that I want all of us to ask ourselves, and the question is: did the money that you made in this 2025 work for you, or you worked for the money? Did you invest the money somewhere that can bring you a return, or you are just working, paying your bills, and you never saved anything? That's a very fundamental question that we need to ask ourselves. So for those who have been following me in this YouTube channel, I always talk about savings, and I do encourage people to save. And I always encourage people to use what we call IDF, that's the income distribution formula. And my formula is 50, 30, 10, 10, whereby 50% of your income should be put, or should be allocated to your expenses, paying rent, your shoppings, food, everything. Sorry for the disturbance. I live near an airport, meaning that very soon I'm going to buy a plane. It's not a public airport, I think it's a private airport. So it means that in 1 or 2 years I'm going to buy my own plane, because your surroundings can always define your ending. So I think I'll also buy a plane. Sorry for that. So we were talking about 50, 30, 10, 10, whereby 50% of what you're making should be allocated to your house rent, buying food, and all those kind of stuff. And then 30% of your money should be put for an emergency. And most emergencies should be for 6 months, that if something happens to you, you should be having money that can support you for 6 months. And if in 6 months, even if you don't work, you have money that is set aside to support you for all those days. 10% should always be dedicated to God. You have to give thanks and praise to God. You have to give him your 10%. And it's there in the Bible. For those who are Christians, it is there in the Bible. Always give God his 10%. He deserves it. The other 10%, you're supposed to put it on your savings. You must save your 10%. Whatever you make every month, save 10%. So where you are supposed to save, that's where I'm licensed to train you on how you should save your money and where you should save it. And it's a very uh, it's a wide and a very broad discussion that if we start talking right now, we cannot finish. But if you can find, there's an email in the description. You can just email me your details. I can call you and we make a Zoom meeting, or I can visit you one-on-one if you are anywhere in the US, because I like traveling all over the US. I like visiting people in the US. So can have a one-on-one with you and then explain to you how I can help you know where you can put your 10%. But just make sure that that you have a 10% that you dedicated for your savings. And now let me talk to Kenyans. Most Kenyans, we have a lot of Kenyans here in the US, and most of us like traveling back to Kenya after, let's say, 1 or 2 years. Opening a money market fund account can do justice for you, and it can help you a lot. Just open a money market fund account with any bank that you have. Most of the returns are like from 8 to 14%. So you can say an average of 10 to 12% per annum. So if you always take like a year or two to travel back to Kenya, a money market fund account is a very good place where you can be saving. like 10,000 every month, let's say 20,000 every month. You just save your money there. Because with the 12%, let's say an average of 12% per year, it beats inflation. Because if you look at our country, for where you come from, like Kenya, we have an inflation of like, let's say 6 to 7% every year. So if you save your money, if you save money in a money market fund account, after 2 years when you go there, you find your money has appreciated or it has beaten the inflation rate. Other than that, as long as you're in the US, you need to put your money in a place whereby if something happens to you, because as you know that there are three things that can happen in our lives. The first thing that can happen in our life, you can live too long, let's say more than 100 years old. You can die too young. We always bury people in Kenya, here in the US, everywhere in the world. You bury people young, old, whatever. And you can become too sick. Those are the three things that will happen in our lives. You can die too young, you can die too old, or you can become sick. And we know very well that sickness has wiped a lot of people's money from their bank accounts. You find that somebody has a cancer, and when this person has this cancer, you will find that most family members are forced to start doing michango. We call them in Africa, in Kenya, we call them michango, or we start a fundraiser to start raising money. And most of the time that we'll find that this money that people are raising will never be enough to cover the treatment of this disease that the person has. So you'll always find that whatever he had in savings or even the properties that the person had, they are wiped off. They are wiped off by this sickness. So if you put your money in a good place whereby you kind of insure yourself. There are a lot of things that you can get, a lot of money that you can get that can help you cater for your sickness if it's a critical injury, critical sickness, stuff like that. So that's where I come in. I can train you and I tell you that this money that you have, you can get this money, you put it here, put it there. Apart from that sickness or whatever, we have people who have ambitions. Let's say you have or you want to build a house. Most Kenyans living in the US like building fancy houses in Kenya. So I can show you a place whereby you can be saving like $100 every month. And then in 5 years, you'll find that your money has accumulated because of compound interest. You can find that you have like, let's say 15,000, 20,000 or 20,000. You can use this money. You can take this money and use it in doing your project that you have in Kenya. So there are a lot of things that you can use. There are a lot of ways that I can show you. The most important thing is that you need to get time with me. We sit down, I explain to you, I show you how you can put this money. There's something we call life insurance here in the US that you don't have to die to use it. It's an account called 7702 and it has a lot of benefits. And this account can enable you to store your money there. Your money appreciates every year. It has an upward potential and a downwards protection, meaning that your money cannot go down a certain level, but it will always go up. So meaning that if you have a project in Kenya that you want to do it in 10 years, I can literally show you, I can literally and critically show you somewhere that you can be saving this money and you will be saving it legally. And I've given you the IRS code that supports it. That's account 7702 according to IRS tax code. You can be saving your money and your money will grow. So in a few years, you'll find that because of compound interest, you've accumulated some money. You can use it in doing whatever you're doing, either here in the US, back in Kenya. And because I'm a Kenyan, and I'm proud being a Kenyan, I will not stop talking about our people who are in Kenya. Saving is something that you cannot be taught in school. And there's no teacher who will sit down and start teaching you about saving because most of them don't save. And I don't want teachers to misquote me, but that's the truth of the life. Most people don't save for their future. Most people use their children as their investment, such that when a child reaches 18 years or goes to the university, finishes university, starts working, that's now your investment. You start depending on that child, but that's not in order. So what I'm trying to teach everybody in the world, even those in Kenya, in the US, everywhere, is the habit of saving. If you just build the habit of saving, you will find that in a very short time, you will have accumulated a lot of money with less effort. It's not about the amount of money that you are saving. It's about the habit of saving. That's why you will find a lot of people, they win a jackpot. Maybe it was a raffle or something like that. They win even, let's say, 100,000 US dollars. But within a short time, they come back to where they were. Maybe they start hustling again the way they were, but they had money. Reason being, these people are not financially literate, and they know how to save, and they don't know where to save. So, as Dennis Aunga, I'm ready to help you guys. Whatever you want to do, if you want to know where you should save your money, just be free. And I've opened a website. I have a very good website called, my website is called aungafinance.com. You can go to my website and go through it and see all the things that I've done there. And then if you have any questions, you have some links there where you can press, and you'll always find me. I'm there 24/7. If you can't find me, you'll find my assistant. I've actually employed like 6 people who are working for me. I won't mention their names, but I have like 6 people working for me. I have, for those who are in Texas, I have an office in Irving. I have an office in Arlington. I have an office in Richlands. I have an office in Saginaw, Texas. So if you want any services to do with your finances, if you have a business, if you have something, let's say you are a school teacher, you're working anywhere, and you want to align your money to a way that it will benefit you, be very free to call me or email me, and I'll help you put your financial house in order. Thank you so much. I don't want to talk a lot, but before I finish, 2025, maybe it was tough to you, it was something bad to you, but don't give up. God is there. Always save your money, save your 20%. I don't want you to save 50%, just 10%. If you're making, let's say let's say 10,000 a month, make sure you save your 10%. That is 1,000. That's for your savings, for your future. If you save for your future, you'll always be guaranteed that you'll live a good life. I don't want people to start depending on their kids to help them do whatever they want to do. I want us to be financially independent by the time we are 40 years and above. Thank you so much. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in case you have any question, just go to my website, aungafinance.com. Aunga is AUNGA finance.com. And you'll find me there. You'll find my contacts. You'll find all my information there. And you'll talk to me directly. Thank you so much. God bless you. And Happy New Year 2026. Bye bye. See you.